What's going on, everyone, and welcome to another video. Today we're going to be learning how to use our text to design something as you see right here. We're going to be doing this from scratch. It should be pretty simple overall, but there are some techniques that need to be applied in order to be able to accomplish this design. So that is what we're going to be going over. Now, when I created this document, this was a letter size document, and as you can see, my file is a little bit bigger than that. So if you have your selection tool selected and you're in your properties tab, you should see edit artboard. That will allow me to resize my artboard as I need it. Something a little bit bigger, just like so, just so that it could fit all our design once we start working on it. Now that doesn't matter right now because you all haven't started your design, but I just know how big I'm gonna end up making it, so I'm gonna make it a little bit bigger. All right, so as far as fonts go, I'm gonna let you guys try to download the closest looking font. That's gonna be part of the assignment. You guys know how to download fonts, and I want you all to try your best to figure out how to find them, search for them, and then download them into your computer. Normally I would provide you the fonts, but I figured you guys need to learn how to search for them like I did so that I could be able to create the design. So the first font that I'm using is going to be called Freshman, and I'm just going to be writing Spirit. I just realized that that's misspelled, but it should be, let's see here, Spirit, right? Like that, yeah. So Spirit, like that. And then we're going to do Freshman. That's the font that I'm using in order to write this one right here. Now holding Alt and Shift allows me to kind of stretch it out from the center. I'm just going to do something like this, and then I'm going to turn this into red. Now I'm going to use my eyedropper tool and just change it to red, but you can just choose whatever color you want. It doesn't need to be my specific color. Now that I have the red right here, I need to work on making my border. Now normally it would be as easy as going in here and creating a border and adding it to it, but we need to make sure that our background border and our top layer is separated, because if this is something that we're going to cut out later on, we need to cut out each color individually. So what we're going to do is we're going to create outlines for this one. So Control Shift and O, that'll create the outlines, and we're going to make an exact copy and bring the copy down. Now the copy that we just made is now currently on top. So if I go to our layers, it's going to be a lot, but we have two groups, the one that's in the bottom and the one that's in top, right? So the one that's in the bottom, we're going to go ahead and add an outline to that one. Go to our properties, and we're going to make our outline about 20. Yeah, 20 seems okay. And from here, this is the part that gets confusing. So if you zoom in, you notice that our outline does not have a blue outline line. The outline is still in the center where our shape was, or our original letters. We need to create it so that the outline is on the outside, right? In order to do that, we have to go to Object and Expand. However, when we expand it and we click OK, we will now have a lot of blue lines. Technically, if I were to ungroup this, we now have, well, we have that, and then we can ungroup even more, and then that gives us like different areas of shaded, right? But we want it to be one solid design. So what we're going to do once we've done that is we're going to go here, and under our Pathfinder, we're going to unite, meaning we're going to merge every little layer that it created. Boom. Now we have a solid layer. Now it's going to be really hard for us to see what's going on over here. So I'm going to change this, instead of white, I'm going to change it to black. And then I can move my letters back on top, right? So now we have our outline. And if these needed to be cut, everything black can get cut, and then everything red can be cut, and then the red can just be added on top of the black, right? So it kind of starts to make a little bit more sense there. Secondly, we're going to be working on the word champions. Now the font that I used is called Beauty, but if you have cursive fonts, you can use whichever one you want. Champion, right? So we have the word champion. I'm gonna go over here and search for beauty. I'll highlight it and then search for beauty. I'm gonna make this bigger. Again, I'm holding Alt and Shift when I'm resizing, and my font color is going to be white. Again, I can't see what I'm doing, so I'm gonna put this like that. Control Shift O to create outlines, and I'm gonna merge these. Now the reason why I'm going to merge this or unite is because you notice that the fonts are now kind of individually going over each other, and I want it to be one solid design, right? Now that it's one solid design, I'm gonna make a copy. Again, the copy that I make is now the one on top. So the old one is the one that I'm gonna add an outline to. Now I'll make this outline be around 10 as well. We're gonna go to Object and Expand. That'll expand the shape. And again, we now have multiple lines that have been created, so we'll just unite them to make one solid shape. On this one, we're also gonna want our background to be black, so we're gonna select the black that's right here. And we're going to then move the word champion on top of that black. We're gonna then grab this and put this right here. Maybe twist it a little bit and put it there. So now we have Spirit Champion, right? Now we need to work on our 98. So again, 98. We're going to make this a lot bigger. Highlight this and go to Freshman. And we're gonna make this pretty much take up a big chunk of space here. Just like so. All right, cool. And we're going to make the font, we're gonna make the font white, but currently, actually we can make this a little bit smaller. But currently the problem is that if we make it white, we can't really see. So again, we're gonna Control Shift O to create outlines. You only wanna create outlines when you know that you are happy with your current font. And for this one, we're gonna make 3 copies. So this is gonna be our white font that's gonna go at the very top. So we'll go ahead and put that white. This one is going to be our red font that we're gonna put right there. And then this one will stay black. So for our red font, we're gonna add a outline of about 10 points. Hopefully that's good enough because it looks, actually let's do 20. And then Object and Expand, and then Merge, right? And then for this one, we're going to add an outline as well. The outline needs to be the same color, by the way. So we're gonna add this one, 40. And then Object and Expand. And then we're gonna merge it. So now we have these 3, right? We can actually select all 3 and we will get these alignment tools and we can align horizontally and vertically to make sure that they are good. And now they're perfectly centered and we end up with something like this, which is exactly what we needed, right? Next, we're going to type Harmony Science Academy. And we're going to, I'm using Made Tommy. If you guys have this font, you can use it. If you don't, you can download it or use something similar. And then that's where I'll write Made Harmony Science Academy. Then we're gonna type the word Dallas. Again, I'm using Alt to make copies of these stuff. But from here, we're gonna need a rectangle. We're gonna zoom into the rectangle. We're gonna grab our selection tool and we're gonna grab these little curving corners and curve it all the way until we create this shape. We'll grab that red, make a copy of it. Again, this one's gonna now be the one with the one that stays in the back. So we'll put this around 10 points. Object and Expand, click OK, merge it, make that black, and put this one here, and bring our words, arrange, bring our word, arrange, and bring our words to the front. Put that there, and make our words white. There we go. So we'll put that right here so that it's centered. Bring that in here, make it a little bit smaller. And there we go. We now have Harmony Science Academy Dallas 98. So now we're missing this baseball. And the baseball, I gave it to you guys as a vector file already, but we noticed that it comes in black and white, and we want to make it with some color, right? So if we select this, it deletes the background, but the baseball's still there, right? What is one way that we can add the red and the black? Well, easy for this one because it's a circle. So all we need to do is grab our circle tool, grab the red color, right? Make a circle. I'm holding shift, by the way, and spacebar to get it to move it around and put it on location. So now that this is kind of perfect, we'll just perfect it so that it fits perfectly within the circle. We now have the red, and then we're gonna make a copy of that red, add a border, put it to around 10 points, object expand, click OK. We could have just made a bigger circle, but I didn't want to have to deal with it. And then make that black, arrange it, and send it to the back. We can now select all of them, center and center. There we go. And we can grab all of these, copy, bring it over, and paste it. We're also going to do Control G to group it, bring it into the center, make it a little bit smaller, and voila, we have a nice little baseball style t-shirt. Again, the main thing that I wanted you guys to understand here was how we were able to, I'm gonna move this out of the way, kind of separate these colors. Now, the reason why this is important is because if I double click here and I select this red, and make sure I select the red. There we go. I need the red to be the exact same red as this one. There we go. Perfect. All right, so if I ungroup this, I can do this where I select this red, this one color red, and as long as all my red is the same, I can go to select, same, fill color and stroke. Now all red is selected, including these red over here, which I don't want. So let me just delete this real quick. There we go. So I'm gonna select this one, select, same, fill color and stroke. And so now all my red is separated into one specific color, and I can unite that. And we'll fix it momentarily. But now I can also select all the black, select, as long as everything is an outline, right? Select, same, fill color and stroke, and then I can unite that as well. And then select everything that is white, select, same, fill color and stroke, and then I can merge that as well. Well, maybe not because of the baseball, but you kind of get the idea, right? I'm gonna go back. Actually, ignore all these steps altogether because I kind of messed it up. But you get the idea. If I wanted to, I can now cut all my pieces individually based on color, right? And I'd have them all separated. So I would be able to have all my red stuff.
A reminder to please take your third period attendance at this
Sorry,
time
please
if you
excuse
have
that.
not done so yet. Teachers,
And this will be the final outcome. And this will be a t-shirt that can be print. And here's how you can tell. If you press Control Y. Yeah, Control Y will send you into outline mode. And you can see, like, if we were using the Cricut, all the lines that the Cricut would end up cutting. And you can see that each one of those lines is a different color. So it's exactly what we need when it's going to make the design. So hopefully this tutorial wasn't too complicated and it's easy to complete. And if you have any questions, let me know. And as always, I'll see you on the next one. Peace.